Mm. Brandon, week 17. Let's get it. This is a party up in here now. Who doesn't like that song? Daft Punk? Shit, it's a banger until year 2050, and they'll still be playing it at the parties. Brandon, we got on here before a little bit. I said I got smacked around last week. The Tennessee Titans did not do what they were supposed to.
Bro,
The
fuck the
Patriots made it
Tennessee.
interesting and then didn't do what they were supposed to either. So all around, really took a beating. But it's a new week, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. I feel like a freshly bloomed flower in spring, even though it's the bitter winter out here in these days. All right, Brandon. What about you? How do you feel these? How do you feel in week 17, brother?
Week 17, I'm nervous for one reason that I like a lot of favorites, which makes me uneven. Makes me
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nervous. Like they
Gotta,
seem too good to be true. I'm like, these seem like kind of
gotta
too
tread
easy.
lightly here.
I'm like nervous, yeah. Which I guess is good in a way, but
If you're not nervous, you're not
yeah,
alive. If you don't
yeah,
feel that nerve, then you're not making some risky picks, Brandon.
yeah. Usually when I'm super hyped about a team that I like, that means they're gonna lose.
Facts. That is so true. And especially if we both feel really good about something, just fade us. Please just fade us.
100% too.
All right. Well, we're starting off Sunday early games. You know the deal here. We'll start off first in the list here. I have the Saints going on the road to Philly, and this is probably the Minshew game, even though it hasn't been officially called. Once it is called that Jalen Hurts is out, this line will go from 6 to 7 most likely. So if you like the Eagles, you take them now. Over unders 44. This is one that's interesting because the Eagles benefit by beating the Saints, not only clinching the one seed, but also making the Saints a better draft position, which we own. So
Yep,
the
double
Eagles,
whammy.
yeah, the Eagles, they have some incentive here. I don't think enough incentive to start Jalen Hurts. I think they give him another week. There's no reason and to play him. And honestly, Minshew, barring a couple plays, and obviously when you look at him throw the ball, it hangs in the air longer than Jalen. That's why he's the backup. But he's serviceable. He's able to run that offense, and I like the Eagles this week. Obviously, I'm biased, but I faded them a couple times and I've been burnt. So this time I'm taking my Eagles. Only 6. I'll take it right before it gets to that 7. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Minshew was like he's a good backup, bro. He does what he
Oh
needs to do.
yeah,
He's got moxie, bro.
got moxie.
He's got moxie, bro. I'm like I like told myself maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago, or probably 6 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
that I am not betting against. No, after the Eagles beat the Titans, I don't know when that was. Like whatever, three
It
weeks
was a
ago,
couple.
four
It was
weeks
a couple.
ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
I said
Yep.
after that, I'm never betting against Eagles for the rest of the season. I will either no bet their games or
Right.
I will not bet against them. So
Fair
this
enough.
game, I'm gonna
No
go ahead
bet.
and ride with the Eagles, bro. I think
Oh,
Saints are
okay.
Saints are garbage, bro. They're not good
Yeah.
this year.
Mm-hmm. I
Beat the
mean,
Browns. Browns are garbage as well.
and did you see how they did it? I mean, I'm seeing some of the play sheets, and Taysom Hill had, I think, just as many snaps, if not more, than
As
Andy Dalton.
Dalton, yeah.
Andy Dalton didn't throw enough to register a QBR for that week, so that tells you how much they threw the ball with him.
Oh man,
So it's like you're going to kind of like you had a good game against Cleveland against Watson, who hasn't played before the couple games before that, like in 700 days or something insane, or insane amount of days. Um, give me the birds. Give me the
yeah.
fucking
Give me the
birds.
birds. Laying the points.
Yep. With it. All right, let's move on. Bears, Lions. Um, Bears are road dogs +6 over unders 52. Detroit's coming off a shellacking by the Panthers. They had 200-yard rushers, I think, before halftime, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. It's
Oof.
insane. Um, so this one makes me nervous because it looks like, I mean, I guess last week's a scheduled loss a little bit for the Detroit Lions in the sense that they had these 2 games that are division games coming up. They have, Chicago and then Green Bay next week. So it was a little bit of a look ahead for them last week, but 6 is a lot of points when you have Justin Fields like doing what he does back there. He needs 200 more yards to break the single season QB run record, and he's publicly said he wants to break it. So this man will be running. He will be running a lot, and that's how they keep it close. What do I have down here? I say lean Lions even at the 6 because I feel like it's going to be close, maybe into the third, but then it's just going to lean. I think the Lions' offense is going to get even better. Their defense is going to start maybe closing the gap on some of these Justin Field runs. But I love the over 52 on this. These two teams can't stop shit, and I mean every time they get together, it's a scoring fest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Inside, Goff is like guaranteed at least like 2 to 3 touchdowns passes.
Yeah, he's money.
Yeah. I don't know if I know Jamal Williams is on the injury report. I don't know if he's going to play or not. I don't honestly don't think that matters because I think DeAndre Swift is just as good, if not a better running back. He just doesn't get
Definitely,
the opportunity in the red zone.
definitely.
But this game is I'm kind of like teetering back and forth.
Okay,
Like I want to say the Lions because it seems like a good bounce back game for a team that's still in playoff contention.
right.
I mean, like you said, we all expected the Lions to drop a game, especially on
Exactly.
that.
Little
Their
scheduled loss.
Yeah, they had a 2 game like was it 2 game like away
Mm-hmm. Little stint.
away stint. So I was like, I expected them to lose one, and they did.
Yep.
Um, I originally had the Lions -6, but in like my head, I'm like kind of like going back and forth because like the Bears could keep it close because like how Justin Fields came out and like publicly said he wants to beat it. So the Lions are probably probably gonna be scheming up something to stop him from scrambling and like maybe
Sure.
setting the spy or whatever.
Sure.
And maybe the Bears said that, but they're just fucking use that shit to their advantage and just fucking pass the ball and shit.
Yeah.
Get them thinking you're about to do a run and fucking do a bootleg and just fucking I don't know.
Yeah. Make it happen. I think he's good enough. He has arm talent, right?
Yeah,
So like you can scheme plays where you can definitely run him, get in and see how they react to it. And then once they start to really like commit to stopping him and the run game, I mean, then you can start really playing off in Montgomery and maybe hitting some of those guys downfield.
yeah.
But
As well as the Lions have I mean, they both have trash secondaries. The Lions and the Bears.
yeah.
Bears have a whole bunch of secondary players out, safety. I think a couple corners. So yeah, I mean, the over is definitely I feel like the play. Over is the
And
play.
you got to think of this too, like trash secondaries for the Bears, and the Lions have good like pass catchers. Like everyone's healthy, you
Yeah,
know. So other way on the other side, the Bears lost Mooney and Chase Claypool hasn't played, and I think he still isn't playing this week. So
yeah,
like if they don't run well, like the Bears will just get blown out, like we saw last week. I mean, they kept it close early, but then I mean the Bills are a different class than Detroit. So
yeah.
um, we're sure to see a different type of game. Moving on. Dolphins, Patriots. This is the Teddy covers, Teddy two gloves, Teddy two good for you game. They are, let me see here, 3-point dogs on the road, over unders 41.5. This is a sunny Miami team going to a little bit of a colder New England. But here, I just think like, man, the Pats are just, I mean, they're not good. This is not your daddy's Patriots team at all. Their defense keeps them in games, but consistently the offense lets them down, whether it be turnovers, whether it be Mac Jones not being on the same page as his fucking teammates. It's always not going well. So this one, I just feel like it's going to get bet up maybe to 3.5 by game day. And this one, I'm going to take the Dolphins because the speed that the Dolphins have is unmatched. And this is one where everyone's going to be on the Patriots, especially with Tua being out. And you'll get a good line on a team that's better than the Patriots, honestly. Maybe not with Teddy Two Gloves, but you're getting 3.5 maybe or three at this point. I'm taking 3. So right now, give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, same. This is actually back-to-back weeks. Can't believe I'm saying it.
Mm.
Dolphins is one of my favorite picks of this
Bam.
week. One
Love
of my
it.
favorite picks. Also, the fucking Dolphins should have won last week.
They should have,
All I'm saying,
honestly.
after that concussion, the team, it went to shit.
Yeah,
And the
pretty
fact that
bad.
no one caught it also is kind of
It's not right.
sad,
It's really sad. Yeah,
scary, but like it sucks. I feel like it would have been a way closer game.
I agree.
Um,
I'm hearing
but
that
yeah,
he
I
was
mean, I
giving
honestly don't.
plays.
What'd you say?
I was hearing that he was giving plays in the second half, and he forgot the plays he was giving, and that's why
Going
he
into
was so.
different routes and shit. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I was wondering when I was watching. I was telling my dad like, "Dang, he just threw like 3 bad picks. Like
Right, right.
weren't like contested, like just bad picks."
Just terrible throws. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
so
was
he
like,
was
"What's
all over
going
the place.
on?"
Yeah,
But I honestly like. I feel like this is not like a crazy statement, but I don't think there's a big gap between the play of
yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater and Tua Tagovailoa. I
Right.
just think it's kind of like that Shanahan offense. It's kind of like you don't need a crazy playmaker quarterback to be good on offense. You kind of don't make mistakes and be
Mm-hmm.
somewhat accurate, and the offense is going to click how it always is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
And I mean, I totally agree. And especially like we could say two was better, but like what it went from 1 to 3. And if you get and it's already three on Wednesday. So by Sunday, I think it gets to 3.5. I really do.
For
Unless
the Dolphins,
yeah, yeah.
so you're telling me to wait is what you're saying.
I mean, maybe, but also like a lot of the smarts are gonna bet the hell out of that 3. So like I don't know, maybe even like you hit the Dolphins on some straight bets, and then you even tease them with another team that you like up to 9. Like there's some Dolphins
Yeah,
opportunities this week for
I
sure.
feel that.
Okay, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think Dolphins too.
Oh, I had something to say. Mac Jones, you motherfucker, you listening? What's up with the dirty shit? You're looking like Grayson Allen out
I
there on the
heard about
football
that. I
field.
didn't see it though. What
He
did he
just
do?
like threw a pick six. He's like nowhere near the guy who's running it back to get for the touchdown. And Eli Apple's coming. He's just running after his teammate, to like probably go celebrate the touchdown. And Mac just sees him out the corner of his eye and just cut blocks him, like cuts his legs out, just like no reason. There was
Man,
he didn't benefit. Nothing was benefited from that play at all. So a little bit of shady shit out there
hey,
by young
Max
Mac
Jones, feel
Jones.
free when you play the Bills last week.
Mhm.
Take some cheap shots, bro.
Take some cheap shots. Hey
Chargers gonna need
Mac,
some help. Chargers gonna need some help in the playoff, bro.
yeah,
Don't be
watch
afraid to
out.
just blindside Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, just take one good hit. Like, hey, I might just get kicked out for the game, but we're wrecking Mac Jones on a blindside hit. Absolutely smashing the man.
Uh,
All right. Okay, we got Denver and the Chiefs. Man, oh
ew,
man, things have
ew,
changed in Denverland. Chiefs are
ew.
12.5 point favorites at home. Over under is 45. Nathaniel Hackett's gone. That team doesn't obviously hasn't liked Russ, but really doesn't like Russ now, and they showed it on the main stage. Almost beat up the backup quarterback because he was trying to stand up for Russ to,
That was messed
hey,
up.
maybe pick him up once in a while when the man gets hit down. And they don't like to hear that. I mean, fair enough, because fuck Russell Wilson, honestly, truly. Um,
Broncos
Man, 12
country.
and a half. I know Chiefs can't cover big numbers, but you're giving me less than 2 touchdowns against like a team that straight up quit last week. And what are they just gonna last 2 games just turn it on? Like usually you bet on a team that quits. I mean that fires their coach like maybe earlier on in the season. Like we saw the Jeff Saturdays and in that Panthers game when they first got Wilkes as interim, but 2 games left. I mean, what effort are you gonna get out of Denver? Give me the Chiefs here, even at the 12 and a half.
Yeah, that's the only thing I feel like I could play. I don't feel comfortable placing 12 and a half. This is probably a game I probably won't even bet. But if
Mm-hmm.
I did bet it, 12 and a half, like you said, like end of the year, these teams, like playoff teams, especially the Super Bowl contender teams, they start to like, let's fucking go, boys. Like
Let's
this is the
pound
fucking
some
start.
men. Yep.
This is the start of our fucking run. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now. Right
Mm-hmm.
now is when we start our run. Like bring the intensity and then fucking it could
Yep.
just be like the last game. Last game they started out really hot and they almost ran away with it. Maybe this time is the same thing. They just don't let the Broncos back in. You know,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
wasn't it like 20 something
yes.
to
It was 26
zero?
to like 0.
Yeah.
Yes,
So if
bro.
it could easily be like 21 something like in like the first half and like the Chiefs don't let them back in it.
Yeah. I mean, everyone loves getting points here, and 12 and a half is
A lot of
awesome.
points.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And so this was up at 13 and a half at 1.2. So there's gonna be a lot of people who are betting Denver, but like dude, they just got blown to smithereens by the Rams. Like absolutely destroyed from start to finish.
Are the
Like
Rams of
by
all
the
teams?
Rams. So yeah. Okay. I have nothing else there. You do?
No, no, that's it.
All right. Jags, Texans. This one's a weird one because the
Yeah.
Jags don't benefit at all from this win or loss. And the Texans are the Texans. So Texans are 4.5 point home dogs. Over under is 43.5. Right now, I lean Texans just because there's a good chance that maybe Dougie P pulls some guys. If the game's, I don't know, close or even whatever, like just to be like, hey guys, we played a good first half, like come out in the second half and just start some of the backups just to keep those guys fresh for Tennessee next week. And maybe this is one where Texans like lose by a field goal or maybe squeak out a win again. I like the under a lot, 43.5. I don't see much points, especially if they go to the backups for the Jags. What do you got?
Yeah. I was on the Jags when the line was a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like almost at like 3.5 at one point or
Okay.
4. And then when I heard the thing like, oh, this game doesn't really matter. I was like, oh, you're right. It really doesn't matter because it really just comes down to that Week 18 game against the Titans,
Exactly.
and the fact that he might play some. This is for me probably a stay away. I probably just won't touch it, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, like I wouldn't even. Yeah, I'm not going to be watching this one at all, especially because I mean, first of all, Texans went the first seed, and the Jags just want to win next week,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they're both trying to get out of there. Honestly, cool. This one's going to be interesting. I can't pin it down. Panthers Bucks. This one's huge. I mean, isn't winning you're in kind of thing?
Yeah, for the Bucks, yeah.
Yeah, winning you're in here for sure. So the line opened at 6, got bet down all the way now to 3. Over under is 40 and a half.
But it opened
Um,
at 6.
yeah, it opened at
I
6 and 5.5.
I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, so it's gotten bent down a lot. So there was definitely initial value on the Panthers, but now at 3, like if it ever hits 2.5, I bet the shit out of the Bucks. I feel like maybe at 5, okay, but you're giving me under a field goal for a winner get in game for the Bucks and Tom Brady. I mean, I know they look like dog shit every week, guys, but he always seems to fucking at least keep it close. And there's no way the Panthers have the same success on the ground as they did Detroit just by the numbers. It's like alone. And then this is a division game, so these guys know each other well. And I lean Bucks right now, but I definitely lean under 40 and a half. Like this is going to be not a fun game to watch. This is going to be just like every other Bucks game, I think. But I think on this one, Mike Evans has a little bit more play because they're missing JC Horn and they had to bring in, I believe they brought in, oh my gosh, who's that guy who used to be really, really Norman? There you go. Josh Norman.
They brought him
Um,
back.
they brought him back
Wasn't
because
he
they,
like was he retired?
yes. So like if he plays, like they're going to get cooked. They get absolutely cooked in
Oh,
the backfield.
bro. He should have
Yeah.
left after
So
he got stiffed on from Henry, bro. Should have never came back.
right, it should have been the moment for the man.
Seriously.
But that's all I got there. What do you got?
Yeah, it's just like it's so like we don't want to bet the Bucks, but it's like I feel like I have to
Right?
because as well as like as much as they're not a great team this year, it's just like it's Tom Brady, bro. And it's just
It's Tom
like
Brady.
I it's at a point where it's like you can't take Sam Darnold over Tom Brady. We see every like this past like month he like play like shit and he finds somehow to fucking pull it out and get a win. Like last week, it was an ugly game. They
Exactly.
were down by 10 with like a 9 minutes
Disgusting.
left,
Yep.
and just find a way
Somehow.
somehow, some way.
Somehow, some way.
And they're at home, so I mean, it's like
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But I feel you though with the under. I like the under a lot as well because
Mm-hmm.
Carolina has a sneaky good defense. Even with I mean,
Oh
it
yeah.
sucks that Horn's out, but like they have a sneaky good defense. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and if the Bucks could just focus, don't let their run game get started for the Panthers and just make Sammy Darnold pass, I think you can keep them off the board for a good majority of the game, probably.
Yeah, and this is it just leans under because if you got to think about how the offense are going to play, right? Like the Panthers are going to be doing running, and same with the Bucks. The Bucks like to run a lot too.
Yeah,
So you get a couple first downs and then you stall out for the Panthers. Those couple first downs are going to incorporate a ton of run plays. So you're already getting a ton of the clock shredding. So if you're just like looking at it in a way to like smartly bet on over unders lines, you got to look at these offenses as like both lean run to start. And if a couple drives stall out, you know that a couple of those plays on on those drives are going to incorporate tons of running, which means tons of clock's going to bleed. So
yeah, 100%.
moving on, Colts Giants. Man, oh man, did the Colts get just absolutely embarrassed. Nick Foles looked terrible on Monday night against your Chargers. They made him look like JV. But this one, the Giants are 6-point home favorites over under 30 and a half. I'm so off the Colts now. It looks like they're
Yeah,
just so outmatched by on the coaching, on the field. The Giants aren't great, but this is one where I think they really like let out some frustrations on like a bad team.
yeah,
Run the rock well, throw the ball well. Danny Dimes has a really solid game. I even like the over 38 and a half here. Just because I think the Giants might get 28, 31 points. And then you throw in 10 from the Colts and you got the over right there. So just one I won't be on, but I like the Giants right now.
this is one of the ones where I was talking about how like I love it, but it's like it makes me nervous to like bet it.
Yeah.
Like I like the 6. It almost seems like it should be 7, But the fact that it's 6 is was why I like this game a lot, because I feel like the
Same.
Giants are a much better team. Colts
Same.
just are just dead in the water. They have nothing to live for. They have nothing to strive
Nothing to
for.
live
They're
for.
they're they're injured. They're fucking on their third
Wounded.
quarterback.
Licking their wounds.
Yeah, licking their wounds. It's like one of those teams where they have nothing to lose. It's like, and somehow they come out and play great performance, whatever.
Right.
Like,
With Nick Foles.
yeah, with Nick Foles, watch Nick Foles fucking ball out.
100%.
That's like one of those things
100%.
that scares me.
Yeah.
But I mean, on paper, the Giants should win this. And there's, like you said, I mean, not like you said, but they're Giants are still in playoff contention. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they still have a
They need
reason to
these
play.
wins. Yeah.
Exactly, they need these wins. They're at home. They
Big.
like they should. This is a must win for them.
If they lose and Washington wins, things get super dicey for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you can't afford to lose. And after winning last week against Washington, like you got to keep it rolling. This is not one. If you lose this one, oh man, for if you and you're going to the playoffs, we already know y'all are fraudsters.
yeah,
First round one done for them if they do some whack ass lose to Colt shit and still get in. I think either way they're probably one and done just because a team's just not ready and obviously all the injuries and I mean they have no receivers. I mean damn near none.
none.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting game. Next one, Browns Commanders. It's Carson Wentz game. Commanders are 2.5-point home favorites. Over under is 40.5. Man, it's just not going to be Deshaun Watson that we remember until next year. Honestly, like it's just not gonna happen. Like he's just got to get used to the speed of the NFL, which is a whole different animal. And
Yeah,
off season with his team fully is going to do them a lot of good. But this year, I just think it's going to be a lot of a learning and growing pains. So I like Commanders here, and I like that they had sat down Wentz, humbled him, and usually he has a couple good games in him, and he starts to fade out later in the year. But maybe because he's been benched and coming off an injury, like this is the perfect time to ride a quick hot hand because you never know with him. Because he does have arm talent, he does. It's just he's probably the dumbest decision maker in the NFL next to Zach Wilson. So,
yeah,
I'm leaning Commanders because you're giving me under a field goal, but I'm not confident about it. I don't love it at all. So I don't know. But usually the ones you don't love at all, the ones you should bet.
yeah. I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the comments too. Like I told you, bro. I just had this feeling that Watson's just not going to be good. Like it's not going to work out. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could see them not being good until like midway through next season.
I can see it.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I gotta get on board with the -2.5. Like you said, lane under a field goal.
Right.
Uh, the commies are at home. Wentz. I mean, if this was Heineke, you wouldn't feel like any different. Like it's not like you're. It's like a
Right.
parallel. It's like a parallel movement. It's not like
Honestly, you're
anything
just like
going like side to side. Like you're just. It's not
exactly.
looking crazy. If anything, Wentz could be a potential upgrade. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like maybe rushing,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
but what was I gonna say? Like insider sources say that
Oh.
on that time off,
Uh-huh.
they benched Carson
Mm-hmm.
so he could go hunt.
He can go hunt. He
He got
really got natured again.
he got to go hunting on that
Mm-hmm.
time off.
Right.
He's ready now. The
Yeah.
freezer's stocked, full of
Stock.
elk.
Full of venison.
He's ready to go. He's locked
Yeah.
and loaded, bro.
He's got a
Make
full
the playoff
belly.
push.
And he got a hunt. He was away from the team. He didn't talk to anyone for months. I'm sure these are all facts, right, Brandon? These are all facts. He
Yeah,
didn't talk to anyone. Just hunted. Just said fuck the Washington Commanders. I'm just going to hunt. Came back and he's ready to go.
yeah.
I
As,
love
as
it.
well as like on a serious note, though, I feel like he knows that this is like
Oh yeah,
could be one of his last opportunities. Like if
straight
he
up,
fails to win these last couple of games and gets them out of the playoffs, like he realizes it's going to be tough for him to find a starting position.
100%.
Like, is he on? Was his contract continue? So actually, I don't know what his contract is.
I think he has another year. I'm not 100% though.
Yeah,
Not 100% because I know the Washington had to take the Colts contract.
yeah,
When they
okay.
trade. Yeah, so.
But yeah, still, I mean, it doesn't mean he's going to start even if he's still on the
Right.
contract. But
And these teams have
yeah,
so much money, they can just cut players. Like they don't even
yeah,
care,
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
Garrett Carr.
oh my God. Crazy.
We'll get to that later.
So crazy. All right. Cardinals, Falcons. Wow. What a game. Already I like the Cardinals +3. The over-under is 42. I liked what I saw a little bit last week against the Bucks. I know the Falcons have had Ritter in there for a couple weeks now, and he should play better. But man, I don't know. I like the way the Cardinals flew around a little bit. And if you're giving me 3 points on the road against like this Falcons team, like these teams are the same. This should probably be like a pick 'em, which I guess you're kind of getting with that +3 because you're giving the Falcons their home field. But it's an ugly game. I literally won't bet this game. I just think my opinion is Cardinals +3, under 42.
Yeah, this game for me. Well, do we know who's starting for this game? If Colt McCoy is
Oh, that's
starting,
right.
if
That's
Colt
right.
McCoy is starting, I love the
I
+3. If McSorley is starting, I don't want to touch this game.
I think he is starting, and that's a good point. So if you do like the Cardinals, once they say Colt McCoy's in, this line's going to like 2.5, maybe 2.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
So you want the 3. So yeah, I do think Colt McCoy comes back. I think he was at the last week's walkthrough before last week's game, so he's definitely playing.
yeah. If he plays, I like the Cards as well as I think. I mean, I could see a lot of points going up. I don't know why. I feel like this game could go over the 42. I could
Yeah.
see it.
Okay. All right. That's the early games. Am I right?
I believe so.
Hell yeah, that's the early games. All right, we're gonna come back with the afternoon and the primetime games after this, and then we'll do our best bets and all that good stuff. So we'll ride out. So next time, folks, we're gonna give you afternoon games.